Hi, Becky.
Hey, Kim. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on the podcast.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I was actually really honored when you messaged me last week and asked if I wanted to. It's really great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so as we're sitting here, we see some remnants of your kids' hamburger making session. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? I saw pictures and it looked first super cute, fun, and delicious.
Yeah, my kids' class, it just fills my heart to do them. It is something that food is so important to all of us, not only for nutrition, but as a society, and I feel that food brings people together. So doing the cooking classes and having the kids around the table is really cool. Today we made homemade burgers, and we had our traditional ingredients, but we switched it up and made some new things, and the kids tried them, and it was really cool to see them being really adventurous.
Oh, and like what?
Mushrooms, that was a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Both the girls were like, oh, I don't really like mushrooms. And I said, well, my mushrooms are pretty delicious, and how about you just give it a try, maybe just try one and see how it goes. And they covered their burgers with the mushrooms.
Oh,
they just
wow.
loved it so much. It was so great.
So for all the parents out there, a little convincing around mushrooms goes a long ways.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So good. So yeah, we made a Beccalicious dip, which is pretty spectacular.
Ooh.
And
can people buy your dip?
Yes, they can.
Okay, take note. You guys can buy that dip.
It'll be coming soon, not necessarily at this moment, but very, very soon. Because we put that shit on all the things. It is good for a dip, and it's good for sauces, and it's good for chips, and it's good for all the things. So we put that on our burgers, and we made like a homemade burger sauce that has just a few of our ingredients that we already put on burgers, but we put in a bowl and mix it up, and then have all of a sudden this delicious sauce for our burgers.
I think that'd be easier almost than putting like one condiment after the other.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we always try and add a little bit of extra nutrients to every meal. So we put some peppers, and we slice them a little bit different than we normally see them, and some cucumbers a little bit different. And then they love to dip all of those in the dip after too. So they're getting a little bit of extra goodness to it. And they also had bacon and pickles. How could you go wrong?
You can't. And so the kids get to participate in every step, like
Absolutely.
Make burgers from scratch.
Yeah, so they cut up all the parsley and dill, because we really like to use fresh everything as much as we can. So they cut up the dill and parsley and all the veggies and mix it all up. There was a little bit of struggle with convincing to put fingers in the meat and squeeze them through their fingers. I think
there's pictures to that evidence on your Facebook page.
Yes,
so if you haven't, make sure you go follow and look at those, because it's pretty cute.
Yeah, it is. There was some hesitations on that and some not very happy campers, but
they overcame that?
They sure did.
Okay, good.
Yeah, they sure did. How many more do we have to do? All of it you have to do. So we do the lemon challenge, and that's always fun. Anytime that we're using lemons in a class, the kids always ask if they can eat it, and I say absolutely, and then their eyes get really big. What, we can? I said, but we have to take pictures. Okay, Miss Becky. So then they get their little piece of lemon, and then I take a picture. I'm like, ready, and go. And then they bite into it, and then all of a sudden, all the sours hit their face. You can feel it in your
right
cheeks,
now, like my jaw just locked up. I'm like, I am experiencing this in all ways right now.
And it's so fun, and the kids just laugh so hard, and they laugh at each other, and and it's so wonderful.
It's nice to learn new things, but also have the fun experiences in a more free environment and with other kids.
Yeah.
Because I saw some pictures of your critter snacks. Is that what you called it?
Yeah.
That was epic.
Yeah.
I was like, can I join?
Yeah, I actually had a few adults that were really wanting to come.
So maybe that's something you can. I'm just gonna plant a seed right now that it could be.
That would be a fun class.
An adult,
actually.
yeah.
We could do a delicious diva class.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fun.
Okay, well, stay tuned, you guys. You don't know.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And do you have any upcoming classes that you want to, maybe not booked yet, but that are in the forecast?
Yeah, I try really hard to do at least 2 classes a month. It's just, for the most part, I do it really selfishly. I do it very selfishly, that they fill my cup. Just to have them all sitting around the table and creating their deliciousness, and then they get to eat their deliciousness. A lot of times they take it home. I think actually the ones that take things home to their siblings are the stuff that they don't like.
Oh, that's always nice. Hey, I did not like the carrot centipede, so that is yours. You
Right?
can have that.
You can have that.
You're welcome. I mean, it's kind.
So kind. But it's just always so exciting for them to be able to share what they've created with their family. And I got a text after my last class from a grandma that had a picture of her granddaughter making a snack that she had learned at the class the day before, and how excited she was to go into the kitchen. So having those comments and pictures after is just, it fills your heart so much. So I do have a couple. We have a sushi class coming up.
Oh, gotta love that sushi.
Yeah, that one's a super fun class. We don't have any raw fish, and the kids are always like, oh, I don't like raw fish, but we do so many other things that we have already in our fridge, and create. Sushi is like very artistic, so it's fun to be able to put all those colors together, and the kids get to make their own and then roll them up, and so that one's a lot of fun. And then we're doing a homemade mac and cheese and chicken fingers class.
I'm hungry.
Right?
Thank you. I'm
You're
like
welcome.
really hungry right now.
Yeah. The homemade mac and cheese and chicken fingers is a lot of fun because it's one of those staples in our house, and we can make it from homemade and make it from scratch.
And it's pretty great because these are things that the kids can do with their parents, or even as a surprise. Like, how cool if I was a kid and I took one of these classes, I would go home and I would make everything, and I would just try to improve on it. And it's really fun because actually what I got when you were talking is you're hitting all the senses. The creativity, the smell, the taste, it's like multi-dimensional. Yes, and they can eat it, and it's, artwork is great, but this is like, you're taking it one step above, and you're also kind of spiking a lot of things within themselves.
Yeah, it's really cool. One of the girls today, she was like, I am eating this so slow so I can just get all the flavors.
That is so cute. And also, I like something you touched on. These are ingredients that you find in your home. It's very functional too. And it's creative in a different way for kids. I know if I asked my teenager to cook anything, it's a bag of chips or maybe a grilled cheese. So these are skills that are amazing. But James has a stepson, and he loves cooking. And when he lived with us, I wanted to sign him up for a class with you because of all the things that are going on in his life, that is where he lights up. And it's amazing. And it must run in the family.
It really does. And on both sides of my family, my mom's and my dad's side, we're all foodies. And we have parties we'll usually have a family gathering at least once a month, and we'll celebrate everybody's birthday. This is when I lived on the island. That's where all my family is. And everything is always food. We're always brought around the table, and it's always been from scratch and from our gardens. And
even better.
Right?
Yeah.
Food definitely runs deep in my soul. It was kind of funny, not funny. I got COVID in February, and I lost my sense of taste.
Oh, that must have been hard for you, especially because...
It's problematic as a cook, 100%.
Did you have any,
I had 4 events that I did, and I had no idea what anything really tasted like. I didn't know how accurate things were. I said it so many, like, I am literally cooking from my soul, and what I feel like needs to go in there. And
Through muscle memory.
Right? And I had so many people, I'm like, can you come try this, please? Hey, you passing by, come here.
Come here.
You need to taste this for me.
So if you guys see a tent outside for food tasting, please stop by and give us an honest review. Taste buds may or may not be available at the time.
I do not know. So there was quite a few times that everyone was like, wow, it doesn't even need anything. How do you do that? I'm like, I don't know. I just cook from my soul. Like,
Yeah,
it's just,
I literally don't know because I can't taste it.
I
Yeah.
have no idea.
Wow, that's amazing. But I've known that, I've known you for just a few years, but I know that you're really passionate. So when I saw you starting your business, like not starting, but continuing your business full time, I was stoked for you. Genuinely so excited.
Thank you.
So where can people find you?
You can definitely find me on Facebook or Instagram, Beccalicious Cooking.
And LinkedIn.
And LinkedIn, Becky Bell. Going out on my own it's been, last year at this time, I was thinking about doing it, and I was gearing up, and then I had a really great opportunity to work for NEAT as their food security coordinator.
Oh,
so
wonderful.
I managed Meals on Wheels, and I managed the Nourish Kitchen out of Salvation Army.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a mat leave, so I knew that it was only going to be a 1-year contract. And it was a hard year. It was a lot of hours and a lot of hard work and a lot of burnout. And coming to the end of it, I really realized that I needed to do it for myself if I was going to put in that much time and energy.
Yeah, for some that program would fill them.
Yeah.
But your calling was obviously doing something entirely different, and thank you for following that.
Right. It gave me a lot of opportunity. It gave me a lot of experience, because when our Meals on Wheels kitchen went into the curling club, and we rented their kitchen. So I've done all of the catering for the curling club for the last year. So then it was kind of a really easy fit for me to just kind of slide in.
Mm-hmm, transfer over. So you've done like smaller classes to big catering. And that's very rare to find someone that has that versatility. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's and that's something that is really important to highlight.
Yeah.
Give yourself credit for that, because it takes experience. Can I say experience again?
Yeah.
And should I say it one more time?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, very good.
Yeah, lots of experience. Trial by error. Oh my God, has it been trial by error. Beccalicious Cooking has been building, for about 7 years.
You just had to let it rise, like some good bread.
Right?
Yeah.
And I just, it's funny, I usually only journal on full moons. And quarterly, it's weird. I'll go back through and go, oh yeah, that was weird. It was a full moon. Oh, weird. And every time, I go back through and I read, and I was like, oh, I added that little piece there, and then I added that little piece there, and I added that little piece, and it's just been 7 or 8 years that I've been doing the Beccalicious, the cooking classes,
Mm-hmm.
and that idea where I've been building on it even before that.
So it's been a calling.
It has been.
And you answered it, and that's
finally.
That's good though, because we've been Jen and I talked about it in some episodes. It will keep calling you, and you answered, and you're glowing.
Yeah.
And it shows, and I think that's amazing, and we need more of that. So I don't know. I know that I'm spending some time on that, but it's really it's important.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to see, and you're doing well. And by the way, as a marketing PR person, I love your logo.
Oh, thank you.
Love it. It's so cute. It stands out, and it's you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took a little bit of time. We played with it for a while. I was really lucky because I worked at Bold Promotions, so I had all of that PR tools at my fingertips, and that still has been I've been building that,
and it grows and it changes. Just like you said, you've been building on this for many years, and I think that will change too over time.
Absolutely.
And we were just talking about that. It's okay to change, and change happens naturally, and you should embrace it and pivot. You have. Yeah.
Well, and pivoting really became apparent with COVID. And when COVID first hit, so that January, February, March, April, May, I was pretty much fully booked for classes.
Oh, okay.
I had probably 4 classes a month that I was running, and all of them were full. And I had started like a women's The Delicious Diva, and we did a once a month cooking class.
So you were like full throttle.
I was ready to be done, and I was going to quit Bold, and I was going to go full on. Well, then COVID hit, and all in-person things came to a complete halt.
But you got pretty creative.
I did some. I was actually really fortunate for COVID. It gave me a lot of opportunities. I pivoted and tried to do online classes, and they really didn't go.
But that's okay. You gave them an honest try.
Right, I really did.
Yeah.
And then I had the opportunity to go and cook in an outfitting camp. So without COVID happening, I wouldn't have been laid off, and I wouldn't have had that opportunity to do it.
And those are once in a lifetime.
Oh, man.
I had an opportunity, I think 5 or 6 years ago, and I didn't take it. And it literally gnaws at me.
Yeah.
I talked about it last weekend, so good for you for doing that.
Yeah, I went the first time I went out, I did for 15 days in May. There was no running water, and
that's fun.
Yeah, it was. It was really cool. Like, I washed my clothes in a pot on the stove, and it was incredible. And then I went out for the whole month of July.
So just to give people a glimpse, like, what do you cook in an outfitting camp?
Well, it was really hard for me because I am so used to all fresh cooking and all my fresh spices and all my fresh vegetables, and so it was a challenge to have a lot of things canned and not have the refrigeration space and not right. So it was really funny. The one day, Monty's like, "Can we please have spam?" And I was like,
"Oh, grilled spam."
I'm like,
yes.
I have never in my life.
You're making, just so you guys can see, a very disgusted, disturbed face.
Like, I was like, okay, I could do that.
But please sign a disclaimer saying I'm not responsible for any that happens to you.
So the boys had gone out for the day, and they came back for lunch, and they came back to a charcuterie board that had
no way
fried spam and grilled cheese sandwiches and like veggies and dip, and it was, they come back and they're like, "What the fuck is this?" And I'm like, "Your spam, you're welcome."
Were they happy?
You're so happy.
Yeah, there's something about like the salty miscellaneous meat of a spam. Yeah. To be honest, if I was in camp like that, I would be all over it. So good for you for pivoting in that moment.
No, oh god, it was so funny.
But you still managed to put your touch.
Yeah, 100%.
You're like, this has to be presented
yeah, it's
in
all
a very
about
specific way.
There was a lot of baking that happened, and I am not a baker, so we had a lot of flatbread. I don't follow recipes.
I don't either, so I can totally relate.
So baking is not my thing.
Yeah.
Right? So
following recipes hurts.
It does.
It hurts me.
It does.
So much.
So yeah, we had a lot of flatbread, and then we were lucky, like we had a plane come in at least once a week, so I could always get fresh stuff. And they were kind of like, "Oh, like we've never had this out here before. Oh, we've never done this before. Oh." So up at 5 and breakfast on the table at 7 and
a full breakfast. Like when you're hunting like that, you need to, because usually it's a breakfast and maybe a late dinner if you're not eating from what you just shot that day. So yeah.
Right. We were lucky, like in July, it was really wonderful. We had some biologists staying with us. We were at their base camp. So
nice.
There was usually 14 of us all around the table, and it was really cool.
Yeah, so to cook for 14 people, give or take, with the ingredients you have on hand, no running water.
No.
Like,
we had running water in July.
In July?
Yeah, because the spring was thawed. So
okay, very good.
We had a washer dryer. Like it was
holy.
A shower. Like, it was really wonderful.
But that's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So I was super fortunate for COVID.
Did it make you a better baker?
No.
Okay, that's fine. We're just gonna move on. As long as we're honest, okay, no worries.
So then, like, I kept kind of, like, I went back to work, and it just was, I knew that it was not my passion at all, and I struggled every day going to work.
I think there comes a point when your calling becomes so close and so strong
Yeah.
that anything outside of that alignment really becomes irritable.
Everything, irritable was a really
Yeah,
good
your
word.
face said it all. You're like, ooh.
All the irritability. And then so the opportunity, and I was kind of gearing up to go on my own, and I was like, but I really, like, I'm a single mom, right? So
Can you talk to me about some things that concerned you about starting on your own? Like,
Yeah.
let's talk about that part.
So, I mean, not having a steady income, right? I don't have a lot of financial support anywhere else.
Yeah.
So that was a huge one, is how do I do this and be okay? How do I pay my bills?
Yeah. Well, especially after something like COVID. COVID shook everything we knew.
Yeah.
Is basically fucking out the window.
Yeah.
It's rewrite everything. Like you said, you're a single mom.
Yeah.
You need steady income. Like we all do. Things are they were quote unquote uncertain. Like that takes lady balls. A good pair of lady balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went, and this job posting for NEAT came, and I was like, oh, that's really awesome. Like, I really feel like this is something, I really lack discipline and structure and, like, procedures and policies. I lack those in.
Well, I think you probably run on more creative mind and
Yes,
creative.
it's all in my head.
Yeah, creative minds just policies and procedures are very good for analyticals.
Yeah.
And for big corporations. For cookie cutter forms, not to offend anyone, it has its place, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely your department of no policies.
But I know that it's important.
Yes.
Right? So I thought that this would be a really spectacular opportunity for me to have something already laid out and already ready to go, for me to be able to be like, okay, here's the structure. How can I turn it into what I need and make it work? Well, I started with the organization, and there was none.
Oh, okay.
So I was
but,
like, noted, universe. Noted.
But you wanted to take this position to improve, to learn, and I think that's very good.
Yeah.
So good on you for doing that, because you
Yeah.
could have gone with something very comfortable,
Yeah.
very niche, but you're like, you know what? Here's where I'm lacking,
Yeah.
so to speak, and I want to learn, and just to find out that you're like, oh, there is no safety net here.
None.
So immediately I was like, wow, universe, noted. Noted I need to do it myself, and
Yeah.
noted.
Well,
that
basically,
I'm the
universe
one.
was like, you wanted to learn this? You're welcome.
Yeah.
Check.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're laughing and not crying about it, so that's a plus.
Yeah, it took a little bit, though. There were a lot of tears. My last couple of weeks with the organization, I worked 150 hours in the last pay period and 120 the pay period before that.
That highlights a lot about you and your work and your dedication, but also like those organizations out there. Like, don't take that shit for granted.
No, and it's, and that was I wanted to quit numerous times. Like, I actually really wanted to get COVID again, because then it would be 5 days mandatory. I'm not even lying.
No, and the reason I'm laughing is because thank you for being legit, like transparently honest.
Yeah.
We need to be more honest like that. And I've been, minus the wanting to get COVID for 5 days,
Yeah.
where you're at.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I totally get it.
And I knew that I just needed to stick it out, because I tend to, when things get hard, I will just quit because I can. And this one, and that's kind of an inner battle in my head. Like, okay, like, I just worked 150 hours. Like, should I have quit before? Like, where is my line?
Yeah, and
of
what line
going-
is it? Is it like a superficial line, or is it a boundary,
Yeah.
a hard part of who you are? And I think you were actually discovering, you went from a superficial line to a soul level, like, no, these are my boundaries, this is what I want. So I'd never talked about that before, so thank you.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, and I knew that I needed to finish it. I had given my contract was technically until the middle of June, but I had given 2 months notice, saying June 1st was going to be my end date.
Yeah.
And June 1st it seems to be a reset time for me. I've gone back like the 4 jobs that I've started have all been like at
Oh.
the beginning of June, and it's going back looking, going, oh, because Facebook pops up, right?
Yeah.
And it shows you your memories, and I was like,
Facebook really likes to remind you
Oh.
of those pivotal moments in your life.
oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, June. So, and it always is one of, like, that is my calling time, you know? And so when I was finished, I was like, done. And
Did you feel like you got what you wanted out of it? Did you feel like when you left that you took the most from that situation?
I feel like I mean, you always have regrets and you always could have done things differently. There was a lot put on my plate that wasn't originally planned, which I also took on, right?
Yeah.
But then there was a lot of places where it was really lacking, and I regret, like, the Nourish Kitchen, 100%. Like, they didn't see me for 2 weeks, whereas I should have been there every day just
Every
to say,
day.
hey girls, how's it going,
Mhm.
right? How are you doing? Where I didn't have that with them, and I regret that. But I also, there were like 2 other areas
Yeah.
that gave me a lot of experience, that I took everything that I could have out of it.
Well, it sounds like you took experience and knowledge from the entire experience.
100%.
So, and that's huge. And thank you for talking about it honestly, because
Yeah.
it's going to help a lot of others.
Well, and I am such a firm believer that everything is as it should be, or else it would be different.
Mhm.
Sometimes we make those stupid choices to put us in those positions. But sometimes what I've really learned is when it's out of your control, there's nothing you can do.
It just literally they say go with the flow.
Right?
But have you ever tried canoeing back up rapids?
Ugh.
Like that
It's
shit,
hard.
rapids are out of your control.
It's
Have you ever tried like,
hard.
okay, I'm going to turn the canoe and I'm going to go back up because I want to do it different. Like just go. Just
Right?
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know that I got a lot out of it. Did I get everything that I could have? Do we ever?
I don't think we ever.
I don't think we
I think
ever.
everything is meant to leave you a little hungry. See that pun?
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
That was good.
A little hungry for other things.
Yeah.
And that's good.
Yeah.
Because it left you hungry to start your business.
Oh, 100. Like, you know, and that's the thing.
Tell us about that jump.
It was a really hard. Well, actually, no, it wasn't a hard jump at all. Once I decided that that's what I was going to do, then everything just kind of fell into place.
So what was your thought process? Because I know that you had some concerns, like you're a single mom, you know, you have to have that income. So what was what was going on in your mind, and how did you fit those pieces just to maybe help out another person that's going through that cycle or that?
I actually just kind of took the leap of faith.
Very good.
Yeah, I knew that I needed to have an income because I have pretty much a solo income. So that was huge. I've got one that was already moved out. My oldest, she had moved out already. And then I've got another one just graduated this year. So I have one that graduated. I've got one that has moved out. She will be 21 this year. And then I have one that just graduated. She's 18 and she just moved out.
Quite literally, she just came in.
Like just
right
came
now.
and got a box of things and left. And then I've got one more still at home, and he graduates next year. So I've got a little bit of independence and a little bit more flexibility, but still have a whole house and income that I need to. So that was a really tough one. I knew that the curling club really wanted to have me as their caterer. So they wanted to sign a 1-year contract with me as their caterer. So any events that happen at the curling club is my first right of refusal. So
Okay,
that
I see.
secured some income and some stability.
How
for
funny
me.
how that came in as like the university. Okay, these are your concerns.
Yeah.
Here's to. But you
Alleviate
had
it.
to kind of take that leap for that to meet you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So originally, when I had first decided that I'm going to take Beccalicious full time, I was just going to do my meal prep for people and work out of the concession downstairs.
Which you're still doing the meal prep, right? Do you want to talk about that just briefly so everyone here is aware of what you offer?
Yeah, so meal prep, that's kind of what originally started Beccalicious, actually, is the meal prep. I was making meals for people that were too busy to make it themselves or just didn't really have the knowledge. So they can choose their carbs, they can choose their protein, and they can choose their veggies and their flavors. I can do all the macro counting for you, and you just pre-order and pick up on Mondays and Thursdays.
Did you hear that? She will do your macro counting.
Right?
There's nothing worse than that.
Yeah.
So thank you.
MyFitnessPal is spectacular for it.
Yes, but I like when somebody else does it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of like my taxes. Somebody else is doing that shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I realized when I first started doing it, that people, actually what I realized is that there was a lot of time going in and not a whole lot of money coming out of it for making money.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
You need volume. And I had a full-time job and I lived in a duplex and it was just kind of not really feasible. So I thought, well, I'll start classes and teach people how to do it. And then I just have to spend an hour with them and they can do it themselves and all done.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized that people don't want to learn how to do that. So then I started with kids classes.
Mm-hmm.
And I did one kids class and it filled up. I had 10 kids in it immediately. And I was like, oh.
I remember seeing that
Right?
on Facebook a couple years before I even met you. I
Yeah.
remember seeing it.
And then I would add another one, and then that one would fill up. And then I was like, oh, there is something to that.
Mm-hmm.
People will spend money on their children, not on themselves. Noted.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And you offer, like, it's kind of a break for the parents, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
We like that stuff.
Yeah,
You're teaching them a great skill.
yeah,
They're having fun.
yeah,
And you're feeding them.
yeah.
I'm like, what do we...
Win.
I would call it a trifecta, but there's four. Whatever the four-fecta effect.
And then I got this phone call or message from a couple women that were like, hey, we do a ladies' night. Will you do a ladies' night with us? Yeah, I will.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had this one lady go, do you do birthday parties? I'm like, I totally do a birthday party. How old are they? Well, he's turning 45. And I'm like, oh, for adults.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's fun. So then we did a Mexican one, and they brought a margarita machine, and we drank a lot of tequila, and it was a great time.
That sounds like a good 45-year-old birthday party.
Yeah, it was a surprise. It was really funny. It was great, actually.
So I guess that's a perk of working on your own, is you can adapt to what people want, and then you can actually experience so many more experiences
Yeah.
than if you were, through a bigger company or something more structured with those policies that we talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then it just kind of like, and then I always have people messaging asking if I do meal prep, and I'm like, well, I don't, especially living in this house, like it's super teeny tiny. I don't have a dishwasher, and it's just not feasible.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've never gone to the city, and I've never got my business license, and I've never done, because I need to be approved for all of these, and so I really was leery about taking that step.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see why. I think they make it that way.
Right?
And it can seem like a very daunting, discouraging. It's kind of like fog,
Yeah.
thick fog.
Yeah.
You can go through it,
Yeah.
but at first you're like,
Yeah.
it's easier to talk yourself away from it. But good for you for doing, what you need to do
Yeah.
and for facing that.
Yeah. And once I made that decision that, this is what I was going to do, everything aligned. I went in and got my business license. And that was really funny. I said, hi, I'm here to get a business license. And they're like, oh, what's your business name? Beccalicious Cooking. Oh, yes. We've heard of you.
Oh. I'd be like, fantastic. Have you
Oh.
booked?
Oh. So I'm writing my start date. So, I'm not technically starting until June 1st, but it's May 4th. Should I just put June 1st as my start date? Well, you're about 6 years too late, so you might as well just put today's date.
Oh.
Okay.
I'd be like, wow, you guys are avid followers. Thank you so much for your support.
And then the health inspection, that was amazing. Like the health inspector that we have was so wonderful to help in anything that I needed. And
it's nice to hear that about, especially health inspectors. That's a inspection and tours together. Yeah, so that's really nice to hear.
She was wonderful. I know, like, we were really struggling, especially in the north, to have an inspector now, especially. And she made time for me, and she was really lovely, actually, and
that's amazing.
So helpful.
Yeah.
So helpful.
So just so you know, if you guys are in one of these jobs that tends to get a lot of flack, but you're doing it from the kindness of your heart, it does go noticed.
So noticed.
And appreciated.
Yeah.
And we're clapping for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
And then so when I finished my job, May 27th, and then June 1st was kind of my internal go date for Beccalicious. I didn't have any of my inspections done or my business licenses, so I couldn't really start.
Mm.
So I took that as a sign from the universe that I just needed to take some time. And so I took that whole week off. And it was like 20 degrees, and it was sunny, and it was beautiful, and I golfed every single day.
So you went and made yourself Beccalicious.
Oh.
Your personal life.
Oh,
good
so
for you.
Amazing.
And let's talk, like, that is good. We should do more of that, because oftentimes when you're a business owner, you're like, go, 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 go. And actually, you become diluted. Take that break.
100%.
You become potent. You give yourself that space. So good for you for bringing that up.
This last 2 months, like, I feel a little bit guilty. Like, right now I'm only really working like 3 or 4 days a week. My days are long, like they're 12, 13-hour days, but I've really decided that I would much rather work 3 12-hour days than 5 7s.
Yeah, but 100%, but also let's highlight that this is your business. You eat it, drink it, you take it to the bathroom with you, you're constantly thinking about it. People are messaging you on your day off. People like me are coming to interview you about your business. So you may work specific days, but it's something that you live and breathe with too.
Yeah.
But yes, the 3 to 4 day, 100%.
Well, and this past weekend, I mean, there was the energetic country fair, and there was a rib fest, and I could have had a booth at either of the events, and I hummed and I hawed about doing it, but I financially, I couldn't take a hit if it wasn't successful, and those were big events that I needed to buy a lot of things. Right.
They said the starting bar is very high for that, so I totally get that.
And my spidey senses were like, no, this is just...
Can you call them your Becky senses, though?
Right,
please.
My Becky senses.
Just going forward, we're just going to call
my
them.
Becky senses. Yeah, for sure. And I just, and to be completely honest, I really didn't want to work that hard.
That's fair.
Right? Like,
that is super
fair.
That
is like 4 or 5 hot days, and like I don't have a whole lot of staff, and it's a lot, and I already worked my 4 12-hour days that week, and I knew that I had my classes, and I knew that I have got a couple of really big events at the end of the month, and so
which we'll talk about in a minute. Yeah.
So I just I don't want to work that hard right now.
And I worked on my auntie's food truck for a ball. It was like 3 days.
Yeah.
And it starts before everyone. You're going balls to the wall the whole time. It's hot. Hot is the understatement. You're there late, and you are exhausted.
Yeah.
So I 100%, especially when you're balancing as a business owner, like, okay, this is your time. Can you take a hit, like you said? It's already a loaded event.
Yeah.
Like, it's part of getting to know your skills, what you can do, and honoring that and speaking truthfully about it is huge. And to be honest, just be saying, I didn't want to work that weekend. Too effing bad.
Yeah. And
done.
I had, it was wonderful. And I actually, to be honest, I didn't attend either event. Like, I was just happy doing my own quiet thing, and I've really realized that that's okay.
Absolutely.
You know, this last couple of years has just been really, really digging deep and figuring out who I am and what I want in my life and where I want to be. And I am quite okay just being quiet over here in the corner, and that's okay. It's been a little bit of a tough lesson. There's been a lot of quiet days, but it's something that needed to be done. And I think we hit a certain age that we all of a sudden were just like, what's acceptable in our life and what isn't, and making that a priority.
Yeah.
And once you make that a priority and say, yeah, that is exactly what I want.
Yeah, like give me some more of that, please. Thank you.
Yeah. The universe just kind of went, well, here you go. Like, well done. Finally you fucking pay attention.
Yeah.
And
but that
listen.
shows, when you listen there, it shows up in all aspects of your life. Your personal life, your business, your like even Facebook isn't immune to how much better you feel when you do it.
Absolutely.
So good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, you brought up some events at the end of the month.
Yeah, the air show.
Whoop, whoop.
That's exciting. Fort St. John hasn't had an air show for a couple of years. So, and it's a 2-day.
Well, it was kind of up in the air for those couple of years. Sorry, I could not help myself.
You're so funny. So funny. So I was super honored and excited to be asked to do the volunteer food. So Beccalicious Bowls are heading out to the airport for all the volunteers.
Wow.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
That's like, my scalp tingled when you said that. That's amazing. That's a huge honor too, to be reached out.
Yeah, it really
for
is.
all the volunteers.
Yeah, because especially I have been a volunteer like for a very long time. I've done quite a bit of volunteer work, so I know how important they are. And when you have happy, fed volunteers, it goes so much farther.
Absolutely.
And events like that can't happen without the volunteers. Like, they cannot. So I'm always so grateful for all of them, and if I can help in any way, then I'm just
And it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, for the event, for the volunteers, for you as a business.
Yeah.
Like, no one loses.
No, that's right. Yeah.
And yes, people work better with full bellies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then today I just talked with Amy at Bell Media, and I'm going to be doing the food for the VIP tent.
Ooh.
So I'm excited about that. We're going to do a taco bar. So
I have a feeling that your taco bars are going to become a normal hit.
Yeah, they're pretty epic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty epic.
Are you going to... Have you done one before?
I've done 3.
Do you have any pictures from previous taco bars?
I do.
Are you going to show us some teasers?
Yeah, I have one. Actually, I did a taco bar for the Salvation Army staff summer party a couple of weeks ago, and there's some pictures there. I did a taco bar for the teachers at Duncan Cran for their last day. So that was pretty
I had
awesome.
another really bad pun, but I'm going to keep it in.
Oh, come on. Just say it.
I can't do it. I'm sorry. It's so bad. I'll be banned. Like, shut this podcast down. Bad puns. Oh, wow. That's amazing. Huh. So you're going to be doing the volunteers and then the VIP tent for Bell Media?
Yeah.
So
I'm super excited.
That's very exciting. And what does that look like when you do events like that? What does that look like for you?
I don't know yet.
Okay. Perfect. Stay tuned. We'll do a follow-up. We'll do a follow-up episode.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
So I'm going to...
I wish I had a camera crew to just follow you around so we got a live feed
Oh, I don't know if that's a
of
good idea.
Beccalicious on the go.
We always talk about wearing
GoPros,
but I just think that it could go badly. So bad. What it's going to look like is long hours. Definitely.
You just peered into like the abyss of your window, like, oh yes,
okay.
yes.
So what is this going to look like? It's going to be starting Wednesday probably. I'll do meal prep for my clients because I'm going to be away, so they're missing out on a couple days of meals. So I'll have to restock them up, and then just start prepping. Lots of cutting, lots of fruits and vegetables and those kind of things.
So do you bring a menu, or do they tell you what they want?
They get what they
We usually go over the gist of what they want.
Okay.
And everybody asks, oh, do you have a price list and do you have menus? No, I don't.
And I totally get that because you're so customable.
Yes.
And there's something that, yes, certain bigger companies can do price lists and it's all, but when you're customable and you want custom,
Yeah.
you can't have a price list with that because it's custom.
Yeah.
And let's give space for business owners to hold that space.
Yeah.
If you are asking for custom work, don't hound for a price list. It's coming from the heart and it's custom made just for you.
Yeah.
And that is huge.
Yeah.
And isn't that what we want? We all want custom experiences in a very cookie cutter world.
Right?
So, yeah.
Yes.
I get that.
Yeah. So it's been, like I said, it's trial by error, all of it.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how it's all going to play out.
But you're just forging ahead. You're like, you know what? I'm just going to take it as it comes.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes and the reviews.
Yeah, September is going to be a little bit, it's going to be, and that's one reason I'm kind of taking the summer off and like working minimally, because I know September is going to be busy.
What you got in September?
Well, curling starts.
Yeah.
So events and all the things there. So I will be doing like all the food for those. I feel like September people will really be gearing up for meal prep, getting back in their routine.
Absolutely.
Right, getting healthier again, throwing away some of the chips and the drinks that they
Or just eating them before.
or weight emotionals, whatever. And there is possible talk of me opening up the concession at the curling club as well.
Wow. Do you have like a cloning device
Well,
for yourself?
I'm
Is this
really-
what's going on?
I really would love to build an amazing team. I've got a couple already that are on my team, and I'm so grateful for them.
Mm-hmm.
I might cry talking about it. My sister-in-law Tracy, she has just been such a huge supporter, and I couldn't have done a lot of the things without her. And I really want to have the ability to bring women together, especially, and creating a safe space for them, and to give them the opportunity to excel in areas that they feel passionate about. So I really am looking to find some, and I hate to be that stereotypical, the women, right?
Yeah.
And just build a really amazing team of women to come together. And
I feel you on that 100%.
Yeah. And just to give the space for them to be able to be successful and to succeed.
Mm.
And it was funny, I had somebody said, like, we're going to build something really amazing. And she said, no, you are. I'll just be your grunt worker. And I said, no. This is a we thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is a we thing. Yes, you'll probably be doing a little bit more work than I will in a different way, though,
Mm-hmm.
right?
But it's a we thing.
It is a we thing. It is not a me, it is a we.
And it's really beautiful that you talk about that and that's part of your mission,
Yeah.
because I think it's the new way to be, and you're
Mhm.
just forging that ahead, and there's so many of us out there who are hungry for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's, we don't mind doing the work, but to be part of something
Yeah.
and
To
that you're
have that
passionate
passion.
about. When was the last time most people worked or did something that they were super passionate about, and they got to build something and see it grow and be part of it?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
pretty incredible.
So you're breaking ground
Yeah.
on a lot of levels.
It's a little scary.
It's okay. It's exciting.
It is exciting. And that's so everyone's like, are you scared? Were you scared to do it? And of course I am, but I'm more scared of not doing what I'm passionate about,
Mhm.
and just constantly looking at other people. I try really hard to stay in my own lane and not look at what other people are doing, but it's kind of hard not to,
Yeah.
right? But if I'm constantly wishing that I had the things that everybody else does and not doing what I know that I can do,
Yeah.
then what am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
Why I'm wasting my time?
And I do think it's normal to, like, we do want to stay on our own lane, but to look over.
Yeah.
But as long as you look back and be like, you know what? Good for you over there. Like, genuinely clap, but I'm going to do my thing.
Yeah.
Because there's no two recipes the same. That was really bad.
Pun.
Was that
Good
really?
pun.
Recipes. I'm going to save that. I'm not even going to edit that out. But yeah, and it's true for many others, especially like what you do. But what you bring is so unique, just like what they bring.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your calling.
Yeah.
Your calling isn't to imitate anybody else. I'm not talking about you specifically, but no one's calling is like imitate.
Yeah.
No, follow that, and it's okay to look over and be like, yeah, you know what? But because what they're doing in their own lane is not taking away from you,
Yeah.
unless you take away from yourself.
Yeah. You did that. Thank you.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. Thanks.
So I got full body, full goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yeah. And find what makes you unique. And that's actually when you actually do what's meant for you and what you're uniquely you, or however you want to say that,
Yeah.
there's the energy, there's the drive you need.
Mm-hmm.
There is no drive in looking over and imitating for whatever. And I'm not, like, this has nothing to do with you. It's just in general. And I love that you brought it up because I've never gotten to talk about that before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's across the board,
Mm-hmm.
especially as women business owners, as women business owner moms. Do you want me to keep going? Like, this can go on and on and on. So
Yeah.
good for you, but you're unique.
Yeah.
I think your personality is like the main spice.
I
Love it.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just really realized there's been a few people in my life recently that have, I don't know whether it's allowed me to be me authentically 100%, or it's just I'm comfortable enough.
There you go. I was like,
Feel,
it's whatever her second option is. That's
right?
the one.
Like, to feel comfortable enough to be me 100%. And I really realized, like, I have a potty mouth, and I say things that I think, and I really don't have a filter a lot of times. And if you have a problem with that, then I'm really sorry. Then you're probably not my person.
It's kind of refreshing though, because
Right.
then you're never left wondering.
No.
There's like no double entendre.
No, you know, like, fuck that. You know, I am done. I am done not saying what I am meant to say.
And also not doing what you want to do with your business.
Right.
It translates
Mhm.
over perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if it's just that I've hit that certain age where you decide what you want and what you don't want and what's important and what's not important. And if it doesn't align with my true, and I guess I've always struggled to really understand what my true passion was and what my purpose. I've always struggled with my purpose.
Are you more clear now?
Oh,
Can you
like,
Okay. Tell us about it?
I don't even, well, I was gonna say I don't even know what helped it, but Jen actually has been so phenomenal to me. She is like, we chat every single day. She has cleared more things for me and helped me just navigate through some of the shit that I've gone through in the last couple of years. That has been my clarity. Like, I can't even, like, I probably I have a clearing or a reading at least once a week, usually.
And you were ready and willing for that too.
Well, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready before.
Mm-hmm. But you are ready and willing because, you know, people, oh yeah, just do that work, I'm find my calling. There's a lot of work in that.
Oh.
A lot of work, and you're going to have to look at that junk drawer of your personality and that closet you've never cleaned, and so good for you because it's multifaceted.
Oh, there has been a lot of ugly crying, and there has been a lot of digging deep and taking a true look at myself on how, and this is one of the big the big ones is, how did I contribute to that situation?
Taking responsibility.
Oh,
So if you take responsibility for
Wow.
what you did, you now can take responsibility for what you're going to do.
yeah. And that has been that was huge clarity for me, is taking responsibility for me, and also realizing that I am the only one who can dictate my happiness.
Mm-hmm.
That was a huge one. I am a person who doesn't like to be alone, and I honestly don't feel like we're supposed to be. I am not supposed to be anyways. That there is a person that is meant for me, but having to be alone and that quiet time and that digging deep and realizing where and why I don't want to be alone. Also, like there's been a lot of growth. Lot of growth in the last 5 years.
And I bet you that is reflected in your business and how you are a mother,
Mm-hmm.
a friend, a business owner, how you are towards yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It ripples through all
100%.
aspects.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of work. Not only are you juggling all those things every day,
Yeah.
but you're on this journey, and it's not overnight, and it's not one of those things, oh, I flipped a switch, it's going to stay on. No. That shit's got a dimmer and you don't control it. So yeah. So good for you.
Yeah.
And you feel calm about it. It's very aligned and certain.
I feel, you know what, and when I finally did make the decision, the clarity that I've had, and just I was always a person that looked for the future and needed to know, and this is what I need to know what the future is, and I need to know this, and I need to know that, and now I'm just really sitting in the present and being this is the only thing that I can control right now.
And it's the only place you are.
Yeah.
So the future thing, I was 100%.
Yeah.
I just looked over to your lane and I was like, girl, I see where you were. I get it. I feel you. I understand it.
Yeah.
And if you are there or you don't know you're there and you find yourself there, there's others out there.
Oh, yeah.
We get it. We see you.
Yeah.
And there's no blame. You're just oh, holy shit. One day you're just holy fuck. Where was I living?
Yeah.
Because you're I'm living somewhere that doesn't exist and I'm missing every now moment.
I have never, in the last couple of weeks especially, really have realized how on edge my nervous system was. Wow. And what it feels like to not be under that stress and that constant unnervingness of not knowing what the future holds.
And that's huge with your business too. Did you feel a big shift?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. And what was the result with your business when you realized this and you made the pivot or the shift?
I think it's just the universe provides for you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should be working a little bit harder. I could be making more money. I could be doing this and I could be doing that.
We always think we could be doing more, but are you being?
And what am I sacrificing for that?
100%. Is that actually where you want to be, or is that where you think everybody wants you to be?
Right?
Yeah.
So that, and to make that decision of no, I'm doing what I need to do right now, it has just provided me with numerous things. I'm super excited. This next, I can go to the bank and pay off my car. I have one payment left on my car.
Wonderful.
So I'm wow, that's an extra $550 a month.
And that's a big step, because you own your business, you're a single mom, and you're going to make the last payment on your car. Don't, that might seem like a big step or a little step, regardless.
Yeah.
Celebrate that shit.
Oh, I'm
good for you.
So fucking excited. Because I think it comes out on the 21st, but then there's still $24 or something. Oh,
just get her done.
Right? I'm just going to walk into the bank and be boom, done.
And shake it while you do it.
My last payment.
Yeah. So there is you know, you still followed your gut, and these things are still happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still get more opportunities. Like my first couple of weeks, like I had a really busy week my first week for meal prep, and then my next 2 weeks were not busy at all, and I was like, oh God, what am I doing? And then all of a sudden, like, boom, I have like 3 new clients that are 3 meals a day, 5 days a week, and 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. So like, they're 18 meals every week. Like,
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah, and there's different levels of business. Like you said, you do big events, you do these classes, and then those meal things are the constant, you know, roller in the background. Yeah. And you need all those levels too. Yeah. And then also it doesn't get monotonous. It doesn't get tiring.
Because I get bored real easy.
Yeah, I hear you.
Real easy.
I think that's a creative side effect.
Next.
It's not negative. It's not. It's a creative side effect for sure.
I know we kind of talked a little bit about having like not staying in a job for too long. Like I'm usually 2 years is my max, because then I just get bored, and I'm like, I know like I've learned everything that I need to learn at this point, and I need to move on.
I think that's why it's important, and like you said, that you want to build a team where everybody, you know, benefits and gets to pursue their passions.
Yeah.
I think if more employers did that, they would have a lower turnover.
Yeah.
To put a ceiling on someone's career or creativity or drive. Mm-hmm. Well, on that note, it's been a real blast.
Oh, I'm so thankful that you asked me to come
Thank
on your
you
show.
For being you. Yeah.
Well, thanks.
So, like we mentioned before, they can find you.
Oh, definitely head to my Facebook page and my Instagram. My Facebook page is definitely more utilized. That's where all my events happen and all my pictures. And if you need to contact me, that's usually the best way. Yeah. But I'm definitely on LinkedIn and on Instagram.
Yeah. And I guess they can volunteer for the air show and benefit from your delicious cooking.
Yeah.
Or they can become VIP. I'm not really sure what that is, but
I'm not really sure how that happens.
But anyway, you guys can look that up. That's a little outside the scope.
I know the air show can definitely use more volunteers. So if you have a free, even a couple hours, head to the Air Show, Fort St. John Air Show Facebook page. They could definitely use some. And it is a great opportunity to just spend the day at the airport and see some pilots and some planes. And
I like that order. Pilots and planes. In that order, you guys. We've all seen Maverick or Top Gun or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah. And pilots. Also, everybody enjoys these events.
Oh,
so to volunteer, like, you're enjoying, you're making it enjoyable for others. And you're being fed, so...
Right, and these events cannot happen without volunteers and the sponsors, so we're always just, anytime an event like that, please, 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 please thank your sponsors and volunteers, because they're what make it happen.
100%, yeah. And then if they like to curl, even if they don't like to curl, you'll be at the curling rink.
I will.
Forever!
Forever!
Our very long Fort St. John winter.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much, and I'm sure you'll be back on here.
Yeah.